You can be native, but you can be a bad teacher.
Okay.
You don't know how to explain. Depends also on your qualifications and on your style of teaching, because not many really true certified teachers here, even among natives. Everyone coming here for 1 month visa, 1 month tourist visa, 3 months, and they're all teachers here, all teachers. Some from many countries who cannot even speak English. They speak like 5-10 words, pidgin English, and I am a teacher. I am 18 years old, teacher from Bulgaria. My God.
Last time I was reading an article, and in the article it was featured that Vietnam is now very difficult for foreigners. And 2 Americans, one from the UK, they were complaining that some live in the Ho Chi Minh, some live in Hanoi. They were saying they are now paying less. Others said that it's now very difficult to find a job in Hanoi City and Ho Chi Minh City. Do you have an idea of that?
As I told you before, I don't go often to Hanoi. That's why I don't know the system and the situation with all the schools there.
Okay.
Maybe it happens there, but it's because of the competition. All the foreigners concentrating in this downtown.
Yeah.
They like to hang around. They like to have fun after work. They are not ready to live like me, like in isolation, like far away without friends. That's why they complain. But as for me, if you live far away and there is not big competition with other foreigners, I never complain for lack of work. All the schools always need me, want me, or maybe it depends also on your qualifications and on your style of teaching, because there are many so-called teachers who are not teachers at all. They're coming here because they have the story that teaching is easy. You have to be looking a little bit different from Vietnamese, and you can easily find the job. And they think that this is the basic your skill here needed, but it's not. And when they start teaching, they become bored of this teaching. You should be dedicated to this teaching.
Yeah.
You should be loving this. You should have joy. Enjoy yourself
teaching the kids
from this. For example, I get bored sitting all the time in free time, like at home. And when I go work, I always have good feeling that I am having some fun. I am having some small party there. I'm going for teaching to hang around with kids. I'm not thinking that I'm going and I need to make this lesson and to make it faster.
You feel good teaching them.
If you come in with this feeling for class that to pass it fast and go home, it means that all your classes will be boring, and children can feel it immediately. From your mood, they can count and calculate easily.
Okay, all right. What do you make of non-native teachers? What do you make of them? According to the TEFL categorization, we have native speakers and non-native speakers. Native speakers are those who speak English as a first language, like America,
it's
UK,
very
Canada.
individual. It's very individual, man. You can be native, but you can be a bad teacher.
Okay.
You don't know how to explain. You know that we speak all the life like this from birth.
Yes.
But why we speak like this? You cannot explain these rules because you don't know them. And you should be a linguist. You should have some at least basic knowledge, even for kindergarten schools. I'm not saying, not mentioning even the high schools. That you need to have a good basic profound knowledge of grammar, of connections, of linguism, of linguistics, because not many really true certified teachers here, even among natives. That's why they're making these rules. That's why they want to sort them out from here, all these tourists, all these experts who call themselves teachers, but they're not teachers. That's why they don't let them teach.
I see.
I think that's smart from government. Nothing to complain about this. Maybe it's bad from foreigners who cannot get easy job, but it's better for country, because what happened before looked in the look. Just have a look at this education in the beginning, like 7 years ago. Like you asked me what was in the beginning, it was like mess. Everyone coming here for 1 month visa, 1 month tourist visa, 3 months, and they're all teachers here, all teachers. Some from many countries who cannot even speak English. They speak like 5-10 words, pidgin English, and I am a teacher. I am 18 years old, teacher from Bulgaria. My God, knowing nothing how to speak, you know. It made me laugh, but it's not laugh, but it's sad for the country, because I try to think deeper. I always try, and I encourage my students and other friends like not to think a little bit shallow. If you think deeper, you understand what is good for country, what is good for foreigners. Everyone gets some profit from this, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing can be done that perfect system of education.
It doesn't even exist
in Finland. Finland.
It's in Finland.
I heard so.
I see. Another changes that was also introduced recently was that if you are a teacher, now in addition to your work permit, your TLC, your C1, you're also supposed to do a TEFL, which was being proposed by the government, and we're saying that that is going to make you understand the Vietnamese culture and how it is being played.
I heard about this TEFL.
And other changes that some may not even have been announced, and some foreigners are saying that this is itching, that is making them itch, because you turn here, there is this, you turn here, there is that, and even the rate has gone down. What do you make of all of this?
My suggestion, my ideas about this, that people think a little bit too much how to organize their life forever and for long-term period. But it never happens like this. For example, I had a friend, he was a teacher from Africa, by the way. He was from Nigeria.
Okay.
And he was a good teacher. He was a great teacher. I like it. He was my neighbor.
Okay.
And also, and we were discussing a lot of things about teaching. And that time, he was also complaining me all these issues, what you told me like right now. And he told me that time, back 5 years ago, that everything goes wrong. Government making like strict, all the same. And he was so worried about this. Every time we met, he was
talking about
worrying about these issues. And I was never thinking even about this. Even we lived in the same house and we're doing the same job.
Okay.
And then he got so anxious about all this story that he bought the ticket and went to Europe, and he found some Poland girl and got married, and now he's living in some village in Poland. I don't know what is he doing there. I call him sometimes, like last time, a long time ago. But it means that it happened 5 years ago, and all his life changed already. He forgot about this teaching, you see. But foreigners continue complaining the same issues like he was complaining. It means take this moment, and if something like you don't like totally everything, change totally everything and go to another place and try from the beginning or continue. But don't fix upon some ideas that something is wrong, you know.
Okay.
Foreigners, they live in Hanoi, in big cities, like in communes. This is the weakness of this socializing.
Okay.
Because they don't spread the ideas among locals. They don't communicate too much with locals. They like come to the ghettos and they circulate these all one and the same ideas, which look nearly the same, among this community of several thousands of people, you know. And these ideas, they mutate. And actually there are three like main basic ideas, which with many hundreds of variations. If you come to any chat, you will see it, you will notice. I deleted myself from all these community chats.
Okay.
From this, you know, diaspora. I don't communicate with like my natives.
Because of some of these ideas that they spread.
I try to communicate with people who believe they are like citizens of the world, who saw a lot, who lived everywhere, and who can think a little bit free, not like coming and like digging in their own like small problems.
That is to say that, I mean, there are problems everywhere.
Yeah.
And once you keep a positive mind, you can survive in Vietnam.
Yeah, right. For example, I had some issues like with my work. Sometimes it happens like with administration, and I used to come home and complaining sometimes to my wife, that happens this, that happened that during this class. And after some time she told me, every day it happens like this, every day. We don't need to pay attention on these small things. If something really bad happens in the school, you just finish there and we will find another place. And so when will happen, we will discuss this in future. Why we need to discuss this every day, daily? It's like so funny.
Man, that's so great.
Better to concentrate on more interesting things, you know, like family, like fun, like education of own children, something like this.
All right, that's great.
Pets.
Yeah, pets. I see you have 2 dogs. I mean, a male and a female. Wow, that's
and
great.
2 daughters.
Oh yeah, that's too great. Okay, Damien, one more thing. I sometimes we on our social media platforms, expert social media platforms, people are discussing why are people from America, why are people from Europe, Germany, you know, these countries are touted to be well-to-do countries. Why are they all coming to Vietnam? You move here, you see this American, you move here, you see this European.
Cheaper.
Tell me, what's the secret?
Cheaper.
Vietnam is cheaper.
Of course it's cheaper. If you compare how much you spend in Europe, how much you spend in America, how much you spend here, of course it's different. They get maybe, the incomes maybe are on the same or even less levels, like downshifting for them, for many. But if you compare how much you spend every day, of course, your income grows immediately. I met, I had a neighbor in another house, and he was 2 brothers from America, from New York.
Yeah.
2 fatty brothers. They like eating all the time. And they also were, I asked them, why New York? I have still now I have some friends in New York living there. And this guy's also from New York, and we discussed this New York a little bit. And why? Some people come to the New York, they are ready to sell their soul to come to this New York.
Wow. They also don't understand why people come to New York.
To be beggar, but only to say I'm a New Yorker beggar. You
wow.
And they said, no, we're not like this. We were born in New York, we're New Yorkers, but for us, of course, it's better to eat here as much as I want. Like to spend 3 times less money for this food than in this New York, and also for rent, the same, like huge. They told like people think they get a lot of money in America, but mostly they spend biggest part of this incomes they spend for living.
Okay.
For accommodations, for renting, for food, for everything. And if you calculate how much you've got left every month, it's not much. It's not much.
Meaning in Vietnam,
that's why people know this. The people are not silly. They can calculate easy calculations, and they come here, where they can get and spend less.
I see. So those of you wondering, that is the answer to that.